Hello and welcome to another lesson from Level Up Mathematics. In today's lesson, we'll be looking at rates as comparisons. Let me show you what I mean. In example 1, Jessica and Ryan are both swimming laps in the same swimming pool. Jessica can swim 3 laps in 2 minutes, so that's our first rate. Remember, a rate compares two different quantities, in this case laps and minutes, as division. In our second rate, it says Ryan can swim 5 laps in 4 minutes. So in both problems, we're comparing laps to minutes. Complete the tables below and tell whether each statement is true or false. So let's start with Jessica. From the given information, we know that she can swim 3 laps in 2 minutes. So they've got a table here where the first column is the time in minutes and the second column is number of laps. So let's complete this table. If we double the number of minutes and go from 2 to 4, we also can double the number of laps. So in 4 minutes, Jessica can swim 6 laps. If we double it again, we know that she could swim 12 laps in 8 minutes. Now, what about 1 minute? Look at the table and see if there's a number on the table that will help you determine the number of laps in 1 minute. All right, well, I use the 2 because I know that 1 is 1/2 of 2. So if I take 1/2 of 3, I'm going to get 1.5 laps. All right, let's look at Ryan. Ryan can swim 5 laps in 4 minutes. Pause the video and try to complete this table on your own. When you're finished, press play and check your answers. All right, welcome back. Let's see how you did. So my first time they wanted to know about was 2. So I know that 2 is 1/2 of 4. So I have to figure out what is half of 5. Well, that would be 2.5 laps. So Ryan can swim 2.5 laps in 2 minutes. All right, for the 8, I doubled the 4. And if I doubled the 4, I have to double the 5, which would be 10. To get the 1, I use the 2 because 1 is half of 2. And so half of 2.5 is 1.25. Now we're going to answer the questions as true or false. The first statement is Jessica can swim 9 laps in 4 minutes. Well, look at the table and hopefully you can see that's false. She can swim 6 laps in 4 minutes. Statement 2, Ryan can swim 2.5 laps in 2 minutes. Well, look at the table for Ryan. Hopefully you can see that is true. Jessica can swim 2 laps farther than Mason in 8 minutes. So in 8 minutes, Jessica can swim 12 laps. And in 8 minutes, Ryan can swim 10 laps. That is 2 laps further. So that would be true. Next question. Ryan can swim 1/2 a lap further than Jessica in 2 minutes. So let's look at that. In 2 minutes, Ryan can swim 2.5 laps, and in 2 minutes, Jessica can swim 3 laps. So that would be false. He can't swim further than Jessica. Ryan swims at a rate of 1.25 laps per minute. Well, this last entry in our table tells us that that is true. Jessica swims at a rate of 1.5 laps per minute. Well, right here in our last statement, that is also true. All right, example 2. A home printer prints 48 black and white pages in 15 minutes. The same printer prints 20 color pages in 2.5 minutes. What are the rates in pages per minute for black and white and color printing? So again, we have the same printer in both cases. but the printer prints black and white pages at one rate, and it prints color pages at a different rate. So let's start with the black and white. We know that the given rate is 48 pages in 1.5 minutes. So let's write that down, 48 pages. So our units are pages and minutes. To get the unit rate, we just need to divide. So we're going to divide 48 divided by 1.5. But remember, when you're dividing by decimals, the denominator or your divisor has to be a whole number. So we'll just multiply those both by 10 to get 480 divided by 15. So 48 divided by 1.5 is the same thing as 480 divided by 15. Now, we'll just use long division here. We want to know how many times will 15 go into 480. So 15 will go into 48 3 times. 3 times 15 is 45. Subtract and bring down. 15 goes into 30 2 times. So our unit rate here would be 32 pages per minute. That's our unit rate. All right. Now, for the color copies, the rate we were given was 20 pages in 2.5 minutes. And what we want to do is find the unit rate. So we're going to be dividing 20 by 2.5. But remember, your divisor cannot be a decimal. So I want to multiply the top and the bottom by 10, which would give me 200 divided by 25. So I'm going to see how many times 25 will go into 200. So let me do a little ratio table over here. 1 times 25 is 25. If I double that, I get 50. If I double that again, I get 100. If I double that again, I get 200. So 8, multiply, and subtract. So my unit rate for the color copies is 8 pages per minute. 8 pages per minute. All right, example 3. Jose paid $47 for 4 movie tickets. Marcy paid $34.50 for 3 movie tickets to see the same movie at Showtime Theater. Who got the best deal on their ticket prices? So my first rate was $47 for 4 tickets. Now, that's a rate, but it's not a unit rate or a price per ticket. So to find the price per ticket, I'm going to see how many times will 4 go into 47. So 4 will go into 4 one time, multiply. Now subtract and bring down. 4 goes into 7 one time. That'd be 4. Subtract and bring down. Put a decimal there. 4 goes into 30 7 times. 7 times 4 is 28. Subtract and bring down. And 4 goes into 25 times. So Jose is 11. Whoops, I wrote that incorrectly. Excuse me. I meant to write this. Jose paid $11.75 per ticket. All right, now let's calculate Marcy's ticket. She paid $34.50 for 3 tickets. So we're going to see how many times will 3 go into $34.50. So 3 goes into 3 1. 1 times 3 is 3. bring down. 3 goes into 4 one time. 4 minus 3 is 1, bring down. 3 goes into 15 5 times, bring down. 3 goes into 0 0 times. So Marcy paid $11.50 per ticket. So the question was, who got the best deal? So Marcy got the best deal on the tickets. All right, example 4. Jared compared the number of fluid ounces per bottle of sunscreen to the cost of 3 different brands of sunscreen. The information he gathered is shown in the table. Based on the data in the table, which brand of sunscreen has the greatest cost per fluid ounce? So we're going to find the unit rate for each of these. So let's start with W. It was $12 for 20 ounces. $12 for 20 ounces. So I'm going to take 20 and see how many times it will go into 12. So 20 won't go into 12, but 20 will go into 120 6 times. 6 times 20 is 120. Bring down. 20 goes into 0 0 times. So brand W is 60 cents per ounce. All right, now let's look at brand X. Brand X was $11.25 for 15 ounces. So let's see how many times will 15 go into 11.25. All right, 15 will not go into 11. Let me do a little ratio table. 1 times 15. If I double that, I get 30. If I double that again, I get 60. If I double it again, I get 120, which is too much. So 8 was too much, so I'm going to try 7. So 7 times 15, that would be 105. 112 minus 105 is 7. Bring down the 5. And 15 goes into 75 5 times. So brand X is 75 cents per ounce. All right, brand Y. Brand Y is $6.50 for 10 ounces. Now, anytime I'm dividing by 10, 100, or 1,000, I never use long division, because when we divide by 10, we just move the decimal one place to the left. So this would simply be 0.65 cents per ounce. Now that we've completed all 3 brands, we can answer the question, which brand of sunscreen had the greatest cost per ounce? So our answer would be brand X, because it had a cost of 75 cents per ounce. All right. Example 5. Megan and Desmond each added the same amount of water to their aquariums. Megan mixed 5 milliliters of a chemical solution with every gallon of water. Desmond mixed 8 milliliters of the chemical solution with every 2 gallons of water. Which of these statements is true? Pause the video and try this problem on your own. When you're done, press play to come back and check your answers. All right, welcome back. So what I did is I got the unit rate for each. Megan was 5 milliliters for every gallon. So her unit rate was 5 milliliters per gallon. Desmond was 8 milliliters for every 2 gallons. So that would be 4 milliliters per gallon. So I crossed off every answer that said Desmond used more. So I got rid of A and I got rid of D. So I know it's either B or C? So in B, it says Megan used more solution per gallon of water than Desmond because 5 milliliters is greater than 2 milliliters. C says Megan used more solution per gallon of water than Desmond because 5 to 1 is greater than 8 to 2. Well, hopefully you selected answer C. And that concludes today's lesson, Rates as Comparisons.